Welcome back, everybody, to Quakecon 2019, where our Doom Celebration Day continues. We just saw KingDime absolutely destroy Ultimate Doom, but he's not finished. We still have a very small matter of Hell on Earth. It's going to be Doom 2 up next, which is significantly harder and much more intense. But as always, it's not just me on the couch today. It's going to be Blood Thunder and Zelo. So, guys, Doom 2, run us by it. What are we expecting?
Well, we've got brand new monsters coming in. We've got one new weapon coming in, but we've just got a whole lot of carnage, and Dime's going to do it fast.
Yeah, it's definitely a much tougher run than Doom 1, but you get the super shotgun, so like it kind of balances things out.
Yeah, that's always the biggest thing to me is that myself coming more from a multiplayer background when it comes to id games, Doom 2 from the original, I mean, the super shotgun really changed the entire game. It was one of the game's big super weapons, which kind of turned it into this mandatory weapon that you had to use. I imagine that does kind of lend itself quite nicely into speedrunning too, right? Where it is a super weapon for dealing with those really problematic demons.
Oh yeah, for sure. It does a lot more damage than just the regular shotgun, so you can take out pinkies instead of 3 hits, maybe just 1 or 2.
It's also nice on the knockback and hit stun too, because there's a lot more pellets that shoot out from it, so you can use that stun time to really get by things. So it really helps out in a run.
Now, I mean, one of the big things that's being introduced here with Doom 2 is just the new demons too. The Archvile is pretty tricky to deal with. It's a very sort of unique demon, I guess, in that respect. And just the new content does introduce with it some new obstacles. We're going to be asking KingDime about that in a little bit. I know that when it came to his practice runs, he wasn't really practicing Ultimate Doom all that much yesterday. I think he was very, very comfortable that he could kind of do that almost blindfolded at this point. But Doom 2 is where the challenges really start to come about, and I think there's going to be a lot more concentration because naturally there's going to have to be. And for those that are just joining us, this is our Doom speedrunning marathon. We have got 4 of some of the finest Doom speedrunners in the business to really just run through the playable history. It's Doom 2 now, then it's going to be Doom 64, Doom 3, Doom 2016, and then finishing things up with a Doom Eternal race. The very first race that's ever been had, so I think there's a lot of people here that are excited for that. But the Eternal race, guys, how are you feeling about it?
Just absolutely just ready to play. It's like we played a little bit yesterday just to practice, but it's I just want to get back to playing it. They gave us a little tease, but we have to wait until November for the game to come out. So this is the last opportunity we kind of get to play, and it's enjoy every minute of it.
What about you, Zelo?
I just want to keep playing it over and over. Like I went through it the first time, and I'm just like, this is just so fun. I wish I could stay here for a couple extra hours and just play through the whole demo over and over and over and try and find something to break it, but they wouldn't let us do that.
Not yet. There'll be time later in the year. So I've just been told that we actually have got Dime back on comms as he kind of gets his little warm-ups in for Doom 2. Whenever I've been watching you play, over the years with the marathons you've been participating in, it's like Doom 2 has always been the game that I've watched you play. And what is it about Doom 2 that just makes it much more different to its predecessor?
Well, with the new monsters and everything, there's just more potential damage sources, and they have new methods to attack you with. So you have the Revenants, which can fire homing missiles. The Mancubus has a spread attack with 2 fireballs. The Archvile has a very dangerous 90 damage channeling attack with a splash component and a direct damage. And the worst enemy ever, the Chain Gunner, they just do so much damage, and you have to try to take pretty much any of them out on the route, because otherwise they'll bleed out all your HP, all your health.
So similar to Ultimate Doom, I believe you'll be running this on Ultra Violence, right, difficulty-wise? What is the sort of reason for that difficulty you've selected?
Well, Ultra Violence was chosen just a long time ago, and we kept the same rule set. So instead of calling the run any %, it's called UV Speed. And on the easiest difficulty in I'm Too Young to Die is you take 50% damage from sources. So those rocket jumps that you saw in Ultimate Doom, you wouldn't be able to do them on this difficulty, but you can do them on Ultra Violence. So not only is the run more intense, but you get to see more tricks, so why not?
I imagine later in the game things get pretty hectic too. I do actually believe, if I heard right, that we have got you almost ready to go. So you feeling ready to go, Dime?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, well, I guess we're officially ready to go. So when on your cue, mate, count us in, and we'll get Doom 2 on the road. Things just changing some audio, which obviously, to be fair, actually, audio is really important for these runs.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
a lot of audio cues throughout all the games. So to be able to hear the game at just the right level.
There we go. Yeah, we've all got it in at the same time. All right, so can I just actually break fourth wall for a minute and confirm the production that we're good to get this run on the go? I'm going to take that as a yes. All right, Dime, when you're ready, mate.
Yeah.
Everything okay for audio?
No.
Okay, cool. So if we can get someone up here, just have a quick check at the audio.
Yeah, and we saw the audio cue
cool.
being very important in Ultimate Doom.
Exactly.
Trying to find the button out of bounds. It's like, if you didn't have that, you could have been on that for who knows how long.
Yeah, for sure. I think especially in this setting too, also when you hear the demons behind him, that it's like you have unlimited time because you're still getting chased as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the first time I tried the E2 M6 map trick and got out of bounds, even with sound cues, it took probably about 10 minutes for me to actually get it. So they do it without sound cues would be miserable.
But that's always the crazy thing to me from a viewer's perspective is just how many of these tricks, you know, how Dime was pretty much able previously to kind of just blitz through the game and doing all these different tricks while completely narrating what's going on. Now, there are loads of players out there that can mention. Actually, one of the most impressive things I've noticed about Dime as a player, especially when it comes to speedruns, that I know there are some players that almost like heavily require a commentary couch because there's so much going on and there's so much concentration required that you literally don't have time to talk and play because it takes away from your senses. Whereas Dime is able to kind of self-narrate his runs and still bring some of the best gameplay. It's kind of ridiculous, really.
Yeah, and in these communities, you know, sometimes games don't have a whole lot of runners. But you pretty much, if you have to do commentary for something like this, you're the one that knows all the tricks. You're the one that knows the entire route. Maybe you even routed it yourself. So you can't have a couch because no one else knows the game. They can talk about it from a casual perspective or just their thoughts on what they're seeing, but if you want the minute details, you have to give them. So you just kind of develop those skills of being able to commentate and play at the same time. You see that with like streaming. You have to talk to chat, keep interaction there, playing the game at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like being a streamer kind of naturally kind of helps you get those senses ready to go. Just been told, I do think we are now actually ready to get our Doom 2 run on the go. So we'll try this again. Take two. Whenever you're ready, Dime, count us in, mate, and good luck.
All right, let's get going. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go. Doom 2 here at Quakecon 2019.
So first level here goes very quickly. There's pretty much not too much to say. Oh, that's awful. That's okay.
So we're in underhalls already, and we're actually getting to a pretty prominent trick that we're going to see several times throughout the run. We mentioned earlier that Doom Guy's hitbox is 32 by 32 pixels wide. Well, there are conveniently some gaps that in the map designs that we can actually slip through these conveniently 32 wide gaps. And if you line themselves just right with vertical mouse movement, we can just barely squeeze by.
Nice.
There we go. So that's what we call a glide, and there are two types of glide that we're going to see. That we have a guided glide and guide-less glide. And it really depends on what kind of setup you have and if there's a wall you can line yourself up on. So we'll see a few more of those later in the run.
It's also based on the direction that the glide happens, whether it's north-south or east-west. Can kind of influence things as well.
Even casually, that was always one of the scariest rooms to me because like there's like so many of them in there. Here we go. Introduction to the Chain Gunner, the thorn in the side for anyone that's ran this game at all.
So the Chain Gunner has a lot more HP than a Shotgunner. Shotgunner has 30, normal zombie men have 20. Oh man, so much damage. I got like lucky on the window trick because I hit the wall and then I like slammed off it, but I was able to use vertical mouse movement to get back into position. But you'll see me changing between vertical mouse in the top left of my screen, kind of like on and off, because I need it on for glides, and I want it off for just normal running, because if my mouse is moving backwards, then I'm getting a slower input. We should do this safer at 90% health, because if I just run straight in, I can die.
They really load a lot of the front-end map with a lot of shotgun guys and chain gunners, so it's even with it being more corridor-based, it's kind of hard to run around everything, so we're just going to spend a little more time killing things to be a little more safe.
Okay, we're going to get the red key, but in the yellow key room, there is a set of 3 jumps, so we do not have to hit the switch on the left side. So 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
And now, I know we missed out on the super shotgun on map 2,
Boo.
but now
Alright,
we can
we
use
have
it
it
in the
now.
run.
Now we're a walking death machine. It's okay.
Yeah, this was really the weapon that sort of changed the whole game when it comes to Doom 2. The amount of damage, I believe it's more damage. It's more than double damage a regular shotgun does, right?
It's really odd because the normal shotgun fires 7 pellets with 1 shell, but with the super shotgun you fire 2 shells but 20 pellets. So does it kind of duplicate things? I don't know.
When I was a kid, I always thought it was just, hey, there's 2 barrels, so it's double the damage.
Okay, here, map 6 and the Crusher is... When I was looking through old demos for UV Speed Doom 2 movies, this was like one of the initial tricks that came up that was kind of learned. Like in the old runs by Hugh Gerlich and Daniel Demon Lord, like I'd say the run was fairly straight up. It was more just running and shooting, but just over time there's been additional tricks that have been added in. So the very first run by UV was 55 minutes. All the way back in, I believe it was 95, and then you had Daniel Demon Lord knock that down from 55 minutes to 39 minutes. We had more progression with a trio of great competent runners, SDX Vile, Henning Skogsto, and Radek Pekka. And then the modern era with Looper, Zero Master, and Alimsky is the fastest time right now is Looper at 18 minutes and 31 seconds, so crazy fast. Just do this a second time. We had a little bobble on the jump.
Yeah, I will say, like, I started following the scene when the record was at about 23 minutes, and to see it go to sub 20 within the span of just a couple months was insane.
I always notice that with speedrunners, it's just, and there's a really crazy trick coming up here actually. It's just when someone starts shaving off a lot of time, it feels like the competition ramps up and everyone is more motivated to just come together and try and beat it.
So this would normally be a pretty long arena map where we'd have to kill everything to raise some stairs to the exit, but we're going to do a pretty crazy rocket jump to get over there. Beautiful first try.
Well done.
There's actually a pretty interesting problem with that map. If you manage to kill 2 Arachnotrons at the same time at the very end, the stairs will actually double raise, and it's very difficult to activate the switch from there.
Okay, we have to go in this room and somehow get out. It's one of the most random portions of the run, attempting to get past the Barons of Hell, because just having like 20 in there, it's like a whole football team trying to stop Doom Guy. All right, getting to the end, we see the pit with a cool soundtrack by Bobby Prince called Into Sandy City, and it's a little disappointing we only get to hear this one once, but at least we get it. The Dead Simple song, Sean's Got the Shotgun, we hear up to 3 times, once more on Citadel and once on the Living End. We have a major trick after the blue key, which is going to be a rocket jump so that we can instantly get to the second platform. There we go. Vertical mouse on. Nice.
Nice. So there's a lot of stuff down in that pit that can block you. We kind of talked about how there was kind of a rudimentary Z-axis. That means that enemies of any height can just block Doom Guy's place of going forward. So you have to just kind of mitigate that, just go around them. And that can be a problem for certain tricks like that.
There was a second rocket jump for a period here, but Looper has like really recently rerouted by picking up the Mega Armor on this map, and it's just for additional health that you can use to be more aggressive on refueling bays, Circle of Death, etc. And in every single Doom run, this has happened. It doesn't matter, Doom 64, Doom 1, Doom 2, even Chuck's Quest. We think that we can stay with the Plasma, and we're going to save the few seconds by not getting the BFG, but always get the BFG. because it's going to be faster in the long run. And you'll notice there with the super shotgun that didn't really kill the Pinky in that situation. And that's because collision detection with Doom is based off like 128 by 128 quadrants called the block map. And if you have the center of an enemy on the intersections between the quadrants, if it's on like the wrong side, that's where you can get into the case where you just have like pellets that won't hit.
You notice the safety save at the end of refueling base. That Cyber Demon was a massive troll yesterday during practice.
Yeah, it took me down twice.
If any of you have played this map casually, we basically skipped the entire level because there's a switch that you can hit that you're not supposed to hit until you hit all the keys. But it's positioned in such a way where you can just activate it from the toxic floor and not have to worry.
Okay, and after Circle of Death is we get to the city maps by Sandy Peterson. So again, Sandy did the majority of Doom 2. It's I think it's 17 maps, but like most of what you play in the first two Dooms are Sandy Peterson, and there's like a relationship because Sandy enjoyed kind of using gimmicks in his map that you'll find Sandy maps that you love. They might even be your favorite maps, and you're going to have Sandy maps that you likely dislike as well. That's just the Sandy thing. Oh, I was meaning to do a backwards wall run over there to get a speed boost, but I just had like the slightly wrong angle. So essentially with wall runs, is the game is splitting your speed in the north and west directions in the positive coordinates. But the thing is, when it splits it, using a code, slide code, it ends up doubling your speed instead.
It saves just a little bit of time to be able to implement wall runs into the route and just take it where you can.
Yeah, I got like mid-explanation there and I like forgot what switches I pressed. So I had to like re-remember. We're going to manipulate an imp by firing 2 shots. We're going to fire a rocket to move ourselves back and get ourselves down to this door.
We're going to grab another key through the door right here, just very simple. Nice.
And we can get, we're going to do a backwards jump right here, and there can be revenants in your way, so I pre-fire a BFG. We should be fine without the invulnerability. I just have to be careful in the imp room. We're going to set this up so we can fire 2 rockets side by side. As long as I get the Berserk pack in the final room and Doom Guy is not dead, then we can pick up the Mega Armor on inmost ends and we can use that to do another rocket jump. And there's a secondary Berserk pack in the final room too. Like there's this one I just picked up. An interesting factoid with the Berserk pack is it increases your fist damage by 10 times from 2 to 20 to 20 to 200. But the Berserk pack lasts all map. And it was, I found it common that when you were talking to people, we all made the assumption that the Berserk pack, when the red filter went off, and you like changed to a different weapon, that the Berserk pack was no longer active, but that's not the case. So it works differently from a rad suit.
Definitely, as a kid, actually, I thought the exact same thing.
Same here.
I guess it's a pretty easy mistake to make, seeing as it's like the visual change, right?
Yeah, I did too.
But I think I actually got a rad suit first before I got a Berserk. Nice rocket jump.
3%.
With 3%.
Wow.
As long as you're 1% or up, you're good. Because thankfully there's a bunch of med kits at the beginning of Industrial Zone. So this level actually has a bit of a history because it used to be faster in the route to open up the secret exit to the first secret level, Wolfenstein, and then you would play through that instead of playing through the rest of this level. And it was safer and faster for a time. But we have a new trick coming up that's called the Zero Press, and what we're going to do is go against this wall. We're going to have a very specific setup, and we're going to press a switch all the way up there that we're not supposed to be able to, but with some very tiny movement. then we can hit something that's all the way up top and skip a lot of this level. And this actually ends up being faster to finish the level normally now instead of going all the way to Wolfenstein.
There was some recently discovered trick on this level, wasn't there? Well, not necessarily related to speedruns, but like some otherwise unobtainable secret that was recently decoded.
Yes, there was one secret that you normally cannot get on this map because it's placed on top of a teleporter, and the teleporter whisks you away before you can get credit for the secret. However, there's a very convoluted way of getting it that involves a pain elemental basically hitting you at close point-blank range and pushing you onto the secret before the teleporter can take you away.
It's crazy to think people are still finding these kind of secrets so many years later.
So we're going to have one more glide coming up right here, and this skips
okay.
the entire map, thankfully. Because this is a pretty tricky map if you weren't able to get this glide.
Squeeze on through.
Nice.
When you go up against the wall, you can have like different alignments that happen, so you will not be as close to the wall as you believe by just like mere, like a very small amount of units. So you'll go in there and you'll attempt to do your vertical mouse movement through the glide, but it won't work. So you'll see on the suburbs, infinite height.
Infinite height.
On the suburbs that I vertical mouse movement into the wall on the left, and that is so I can get the proper alignment.
We actually have one more zero press coming up right here. This one's more dangerous because you're actually in a toxic pit while you're doing it. Beautiful.
Nice.
First archfowl that we spot in the run, he, not too dangerous, kind of stuck in a cage.
Poor guy just wants to be free.
Not allowed.
Oh, not good.
All good.
Okay.
Saved.
But the archfowl at the very end of the channeling attack, which goes for, say, 2 or 3 seconds, if you dodge out of the way at a line of sight just at the very end, then it will not do damage to you. Get through this weird section here. We just have to keep hitting triggers, opening these sections. There we go. So this map, like, it used to be 2 minutes plus with the old strategy, where there's a pit with an arachnotron where you would grab a yellow key and just kind of jump down. 60% health, so safety strats, we're going to get the Soul Sphere. Because on Gotcha, we do a long wall run in a blood section, which does 10% damage. Okay.
I know this is one of the more self-explanatory maps, isn't it?
Yeah,
we're done.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of the coin, now we have Citadel, which is quite a long map casually, very convoluted.
But it's got an awesome secret on the outskirts where you can go in there, and there's 5 different teleporters to go to different quadrants in the Citadel, and you can just go start exploring. So if you're really into adventure maps, I'd say this would be an explorer's favorite. We do not open the door here. If I did open it and I was shooting the pinkies, that would activate the Cacodemons and the Arachnotron to get in my face and become a nuisance. Right, we're gonna do that, because if this trick gets messed up, it just takes forever to kill the Spectres.
Nice.
Wow, that was incredibly fast.
Awesome. So, because this is the 25th anniversary of Quakecon, no, Doom, not Quakecon, we're gonna take and do the Grudge Match, the 25-year Grudge Match, and we're going to see who is victorious, so you can cheer for your favorite combatant.
All right, guys. Mastermind, give us some noise. Got the Mastermind to win. That's not all right. If you want the Cyber Demon to win, though, make some noise. Now, fun fact, Cyber Demon normally wins about 8% of the time, so I think you guys will be all right.
Okay, come on,
He's busy with you, though.
There we go.
Yeah, they're duking it out.
Not allowed to be a 2v1, dude.
I just imagine those imps as spectators just kind of throwing the bottles and tomatoes.
He's getting a lot of... He's not really firing, I don't know. Come on, guys.
Nice.
How about your boy? How about the Cyber Demon? Cheer him on. Give him the encouragement. He's not even firing, look. Oh, no. Come on, dude.
Oh, boy.
Remember who you are. You gonna let him do you like that? God, fight
He's
back,
not
dude.
doing
Fight
anything.
back.
That's going to be close.
I hope he's this generous for my run later.
Oh, there he is. There he goes. The reigning champ. The reigning champ's gonna do it. And now, unfortunately, he has to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had to take him out. But at least we got the Soul Sphere and the Mega Armor, because at 61%, I would have been too low to go do the normal route in the map. So generally, we do not see the fight at all in the speedrun, which is rather disappointing. But if you wanted to see it, you could do a UV max run instead, because there's different categories in Doom. You can do pacifist runs, Tyson, which is just using your fist and the and the first pistol shots. Okay.
When are you gonna do tornado fist % again?
Oh, we got the pain elemental that just got in my way. Okay.
Yeah,
There
to
we
expand on the categories a little bit, this is UV speed, which is just get to the end as fast as possible. The most other popular category is UV max, which would be 100% kill and 100% secrets on every map. And that would include the secret level. So there's quite a bit of game. And there's actually still quite a few tricks, even with having to explore and visit everything, kill everything. They've managed to make some really interesting routes for max categories.
Alright, done gotcha. So typically that map takes 40 seconds, but 2 minutes and 38 with our Cyber Demon and Mastermind fight.
I think we can all agree it's worth. Oh, wow. Go.
Yeah. Another glide here, and then he's going to go for a
Come on.
pretty cool trick. But he also has to deal with all the enemies shooting at him.
I want to show this one off, because it's a double glide plus a momentum preservation rocket jump. Come on. Come on.
Yeah,
Give it one more
And start
try.
playing ball.
If you don't get it quick enough, then all the enemies start shooting at you, and if they hit you, they're going to bump you out of position. And it's very, very difficult to get it at that point.
And you need enough health to be able to survive the rocket to the face.
Oh, okay.
This might work.
It should. Well,
Okay. So I'm supposed to do that, but one problem. Yeah. So we'll go do the normal route now. Or the older route.
Yeah, I like how the normal route still involves you getting a glide right at the beginning.
Yeah.
So they designed it to where you don't need the blue key. Like, they left the gap large enough where it's like, okay, we'll just slip right through. That's cool.
Yeah, you don't have to even grab the blue key.
I guess you can imagine if you actually manage to get it through there, you can see how much time you'll shave off just straight away.
BFG projectile starts firing when I shoot it, but because it's delayed, the monsters don't wake up. But in the main projectile, it does 100 to 800 damage, and the rays can do up to 49 to 3,480. So it can kill the Spider Mastermind in a single hit, but the Cyber Demon is going to take 2.
Always interesting to me just how. Hang on a minute.
Nice. I've never seen that set up for that rocket jump before.
I was going to mention how interesting it is how some of the single player and multiplayer things are so universal.
Hey, 2 hardest maps in the run coming up, Barrels of Fun and the Chasm. At 82% health, we have to get the Berserk and the Mega Armor, but there's going to be a fork. So the Mancubus did not destroy the barrels, so we can do the fast trick, which is going to be a thing boost off a row of barrels. Can't amount to. That's how Doom is sometimes. It's let's get a monster in the way, and then that would have been like, say, a reset if you were doing a single segment run, just because the Pain Elemental was not cooperating.
The runs have gotten so optimized to the point where missing a trick like that loses 15, 20 seconds, or even it's just flat out run ender.
He is not playing ball at all.
Yeah. Could go for the backup rocket jump, or could just go for the switch. There's like lots of choices here.
And that's the great thing about like classic Doom runs is you have so much history with different strats that if one doesn't work out, you can go back to a different one that maybe costs 15 seconds or so.
I guess it's almost like pretty obvious why this map is so difficult. You're surrounded by constant death.
That's just kind of the nature of Doom.
At all times.
This is like Barrels of Fun is one of those maps that I actually practice the most in the off times. Is just putting that together. But the Pain Elemental just wasn't having any of it today. Just coming straight out and blocking me.
Oh, he's in Doom Eternal. He's got cocky.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna run by here with the Archvile, and if you grab the BFG, like the pinkies will swarm in on you and block you off. So it's just faster to skip that. That's okay. We have another cool level coming up called the Chasm. We need to do strafe running over 3 pixel wide gaps. And there's an inescapable pit at the end too, so fun times. But there was an old runner for the Chasm called Citadel who worked on the individual level for a long time. Okay, that's part 1. And to get 36 seconds in the IL for the UV speed, he had to get 37 seconds, 430 times.
So he's going to try and avoid the rest of the maze by doing a very
I went one too far.
We can just kind of slide along the wall here.
No, let's go with that. There.
Awesome.
Nice.
And just to taunt you at the end, if you open the doors and walk through and turn around, you'll see the floor slowly start to rise out of the slime. Just as one last troll.
I believe this one here is a Sean Green map. And there's a couple of kind of special resources we can pick up. We'll skip the Megasphere at 100%. We should be fine, but 2 cell packs we can get there, and later on we can do sort of a wall clip to get a 3rd set of cells. And that's going to set us up for the finale last 4 maps. Got a chain gunner on me doing a lot of damage.
This is why we hate chain gunners.
So here, on an easier difficulty, there would be a BFG, but we cannot grab it on Ultraviolence. Okay.
Like, thankfully there's some health pickups in the first room of the next map.
Yeah, we get some health pickups, then later on there's going to be more, plus a green armor that we can pick up, but we'll see if the Cacodemons get in the way. Teleported early to the party. And we're going to get the green armor, and we're going to get supplies before a special trick on Monster Condo. I won't describe just yet. We'll wait on that. Okay. So in the final room, when we get to the door, we can do a slight skip with an alignment. So we're going to set ourselves up on some of the white pixels on the door. That'll let me thing boost across a Lost Soul, and we can get across that platform.
So we're coming up on Monster Condo with our favorite archvile in the game. We call him Barney. Because he's like Barney from Half-Life. He's going to attempt to open a door for us. But he's not very competent at it, so we'll see what kind of luck we get.
Maybe today's his big day. This Quakecon. There's one event to do it. Go on, mate.
So what he's going to...
Oh,
nice.
Come on, dude.
Oh, there we go!
Yes!
Let's go.
He just wanted to just kind of show off what he can do, then open it for you. What a gentleman.
He just needed to shoot a lost soul into orbit first, and then he's fine.
But you notice there with Barney that the Archviles do 70 splash damage and 20 direct. So by sticking myself into the little key bar that was on the floor, that mitigates all of the splash damage. So he was only doing 20 damage per channeling attack. And the key door that he was opening it's 8 units wide, and the Archvile is the fastest monster in the game, so it can it is able to clip through the wall.
Whoa.
I'm going with a different save point here.
Yeah, starting the living end with the 18 is going to be pretty scary. This is... Would you say this is the most difficult map for you at this point in the run?
I don't know if it has... I wouldn't say it has the hardest tricks in any of the runs, but it's long with multiple tricks. Just being level 29, you might be nervous in like a PB or a record attempt. So you saw that giant floor that was rising, is we get time to come back here and get all the BFG cells. Get ourselves up to 380, and we're going to be using that to clear out the... Do that one more time. Sorry. Get the Mega Armor room.
There's just a lot of danger in this map, especially when you get to the very end. All those shotgun guys and chain gunners that are hanging around on the edges of the map will try and snipe you at that point. And by that point, you're going to have some pretty low health and armor.
So use one BFG there, and then we're going to try to hit the Mancubus and the Cacodemon so we can take them both out.
Good shot.
Do a BFG here. Or we can set up rocket jump number 1. So we're going to go 3 notches to the right on the wall. We got vertical mouse movement. Oh. A little bit back. That should be good. No. My bad. Retry, redo. There we go. And in this final room, the intended strategy is you hit 3 different barriers. 3 different switches to lower the barriers in this room. But by doing a special rocket jump, where I'm going to use a visual cue on the first aid kit, we're going to do 2 movements, a little bit of vertical mouse back. Not use the chain gun, I've done that before. Buffer 2 rockets.
Very nice.
And this here is my favorite Cyber Demon in any Doom game because he's just there.
But now we have the final boss, Icon of Sin.
So we're going to do a jump when we're pressing the last switch. We're going to buffer rockets after pressing it. And if you do SR50, you can get all the way on this platform. And by shooting the rockets with the switch, it's like timing it so we can get 2 rockets in going up and hopefully a 3rd coming down. We just got 2
so
instead
close.
of 3, but that was very close to the 1 cycle. I feel like I'd have Looper in my stream right now saying like, oh, 1 frame off. Just checked it on X-Ray. There we go.
Yeah.
Dealt with.
And that's time.
And that is indeed time. Doom 2. Finished. Well done, Dime. Thank you very much, mate. Before you finish up, actually, anything you want to say while you're there?
Sorry?
So is there anything you want to say while you're there? Now you're finished off?
I can't hear you.
Oh, I think they might have cut his mic off. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. We're back. But yeah, so that was Doom 2. Actually, it's not actually the end of the world that you couldn't hear me because we're actually going to be bringing him onto the chair anyway for a little bit of a mini interview before we go to our next break. But you can kind of see why Doom 2 was so much harder than Ultimate, you know, because it's just the amount of new stuff that's in the game that can get in the way and cause you troubles. But I mean, from my side, I much prefer watching it when it comes to watching speedruns in particular. I've always found Doom 2 to be a little bit more high octane.
Oh, for sure, and definitely things like Barney that can just go randomly wrong in a run, which we've seen at other marathons, but to have it go so well here, it's just like such a cool moment. Like, oh wow, he's actually doing what he needs to do right now.
It's really great for these kinds of runs because it's like if it goes great, if it goes well, then yeah, it's great. If it goes really poorly, it can be really funny, and that's great too.
I think we all remember seeing that legendary clip at the recent GDQ where he just runs off. He just goes, you know what, mate? I'm out. See you later.
He runs off, the save is reloaded, and then he ends up destroying a Lost Soul before getting into a teleporter.
You can see there's pretty much a collection of some of the tricks that were used, and so many of these tricks were definitely not early finds. And it's only because the game has just spent so long being evolved over the years that you're able to now see just how crazy optimized this game has become. But yeah, man, it was a good display, and it's crazy to think that 2 of our games have already been beat. I know they are some of the faster ones of the day, but how long did these games take us to beat casually when we were younger? Like, ridiculous.
Like months in some cases,
Yeah,
depending on how often you got to play.
Definitely for us. I could never beat the final boss of Doom 64. My dad had to input a cheat, the big cheat, for us to actually get it to work. They just couldn't do it. It was way too difficult. But actually, I believe we've been using these highlights, right? With a little bit of the live show magic. It's not just the 3 of us on this couch anymore. We actually have KingDime joining us. Hey, mate.
Hey, great to be here after the runs. It's Doom 2, I find it much more tricky than Ultimate Doom, but we got to show off most of the tricks. Probably the only one I was kind of a little disappointed with was Barrels of Fun, but it's just tough with the Pain Elemental there. You just gotta go with the punches.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing we have been able to, I think, see throughout the course of this run was the sheer amount of backup strats, right? When something that you want to do doesn't go to plan, the amount of, I think, plan Bs and Cs and Ds that you had. I mean, this was my personal favorite moment of the run. This was to be celebrated. I was worried about the Cyber Demon for a little minute, but it was all right. It took like a couple of shotgun blasts, so like, how close was he to being dead there?
Yeah, it just wasn't shooting at all. I don't know, but occasionally you get this mastermind that wins. Like, it's probably 80-20 in favor of the Cyber Demon, so...
So all in all, happy with the run?
Oh yeah, it was a blast to show it off to everybody here at Quakecon. I just love it. It's so much fun.
It's a far cry from what we saw last time.
Yeah. 10 seconds compared to... It had to be like a minute and a half.
It was pretty close to that.
But I think that can actually sometimes put into perspective how easy it is to lose time in a game like this. When it's so heavily reliant on the AI of the demons that are involved, where if one of them doesn't play ball, you lose like an entire map cycle, got to reload the whole thing, and it can really cost you. But I mean, like, with how long you've been running Doom in general, how do you sort of deal with the immense difficulty that comes with certain maps? Is it just grinding? Is it like, do you have to be super calm? Can you choke pretty easily, or?
I would say so. In the very first like GDQ in 2014, I'd done practice runs for so long, and like all of them were within 34 to 39 minutes. And then I did the actual run, and it was like 45 minutes. Like, what is this? It's you have to be calm under pressure, and I guess it was also learning to deal with that. Things can go wrong, but we can still showcase it, even if you get like some of the negatives, like there on 23 or 24 with the 2 reloads. So it's a learning process.
I think you've got more than enough experience now in a speedrunning, like a live setting too, with the amount of runs that we've been able to see for you. So well done. Thank you very much for bringing it. Can we have a quick round of applause for Dime, please? Giving us 2 games. Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much. We actually have got to go to a quick break and set up the next game, which I believe should be Doom 64. So thank you for sticking with us so far. This is QuakeCon 2019, and our Doom speedrunning marathon will continue.